Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me on this very special evening edition of Be Well Live. I'm coming to you live so you can join me. It is actually the first night of Hanukkah tonight, so tonight we're going to be making holiday cookies. I'm going to be making Hanukkah cookies, but really all I'm doing is making a simple sugar cookie, and the only reason that I'm calling them a Hanukkah cookie is because I have Hanukkah cookie cutters. So we got lots planned, so let's get started. So to save a little bit of time, I've already started with the butter and the sugar. So this is not the healthiest recipe, but that's why it's so delicious. So I've already creamed together a full cup of butter and a full cup of sugar, but that's why they taste so good. So I've done that already because that's loud. I'm gonna add in 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm just gonna, bear with me while I beat those with, so this is just a really easy sugar cookie that anyone can make. And then I'm going to show you actually how to decorate them as well. Okay, so once I've got my butter, my sugar, my egg, and my vanilla, then I'm just going to start with the dry ingredients. So I've already put 3 cups of flour in my bowl, and I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of baking powder. So mix that up, and then I'm just going to mix those together so that the dry ingredients incorporate really well. Late night baking, you got it. Anytime is a good time for baking. So once I've got those mixed, I'm going to pour that into my butter and sugar mixture, and then I'm going to take, again with my beaters, and I'm going to mix that in together. So sorry if it gets really loud. And hopefully you don't see all the flour that's going all over my kitchen. So you want to mix that really well. It gets really crumbly, but you want to mix it because what you need is you're trying to make a dough so that you'll be able to roll it out. So once you've got that mixed, I probably would mix it a little bit more if I had more time, but I'm actually just going to use my hands to really just turn that into a dough, because what we're going to be doing is rolling it out so that we can use our cookie cutters to make our shapes. So I'm going to take my piece of parchment paper, and the tip of the day is you want to actually roll it right onto your parchment paper, because then you can take your parchment paper and transfer it right onto your baking tray. So I'm going to take about, let's say, 1/3 of my mixture of my dough, and I'm going to roll it out with my rolling pin. Here's another baking tip. You want to take a bit of flour and just spread it over your rolling pin. That just makes it less sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll it out. Probably you want about 1/4 of an inch thick. That's the key to a good sugar cookie. And then once you've got that rolled out, and again, I'm really going fast, but I will have this recipe up for everybody afterwards in our on our Instagram. So once you've rolled it to about 1/4 of an inch thick, like I said, I'm just making a simple holiday sugar cookie, but what makes this a Hanukkah cookie are my Hanukkah, like my dreidel cookie cutters. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cookie cutter, so that's a dreidel. There you go, that's actually a real dreidel. So that's my dreidel cookie cutter, and I'm just going to cut out the shape, and then I don't know if you can see it, so I've made a nice shape, and then I'm going to do that again with a few different of my cookie cutters. So I'm just going to use my any kind of cookie cutter you want. You're going to make your shapes, you're going to roll out the dough, take your leftover dough, roll it out so that you can reuse it, so that there's no waste. So once I have that, and again, I'm not going to do it all for you tonight, too much time, is you're going to take your parchment paper, transfer it onto your cookie tray, and then you're going to put that in the oven. And like a magic trick, you're going to bake it for 350 for about 10 minutes, and you've got, that's my menorah and my Star of David, or my Mug of David, and there you go. That's the dreidel that we were just making. So you're going to put those into your oven 10 minutes at 350, and when they come out of your oven, you're going to let them cool. So, sorry, I just need to wash my hands. Once they've cooled, So I've already done a few batches today. Once they've cooled, here's a plate that's already cooled. Now we're gonna make our icing, because icing and decorating, and especially sprinkles, is the best part. So to make your, to make your icing, you're gonna start with 1 cup of powdered sugar. You're gonna add a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and you're gonna add 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. So again, you can actually also do this with water, or you can do this with milk, whatever you prefer. And then you're gonna stir it up. And you can actually use a little bit less and then sort of add to texture. So I'm just gonna stir this all up to make really good icing. So you can see it sort of thickening up, coming together here. And then all I'm gonna do, my kitchen is turning into a disaster right now. That's okay. All you're gonna do from there, because I wanna make this holiday themed, is I'm gonna put a little bit into a separate bowl. So I have white icing in this bowl. And then I'm just gonna take blue food coloring, drop in a couple of drops. Again, you can use whatever color, however many drops. And if you can see, I just made blue food coloring. So now I've got blue icing, and I've got white icing. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my cookie, and I'm gonna make this one with blue icing. So I'm gonna just spread it out with my spoon with the icing. And then anyone that knows me knows I like my sprinkles. So I'm just gonna take some sprinkles, sprinkle it on, and there you go. So I've made a plate already, if you can see them. So I've made, yeah, sprinkles are the best. So I made a menorah out of blue sprinkles. My kids helped me make these earlier, so clearly one of my kids made that one with a ton of sprinkles. I made some dreidels. Those are some Hebrew letters. Star of David. So those are really easy sugar cookies that you can make. I'll put the recipe up after. So again, easy holiday cookie. I just use my Hanukkah cookie cutters to make them into a Hanukkah cookie. You can use any holiday cookie cutter you want. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Hanukkah. You see my menorah in the background. It's the first night of Hanukkah for everybody. I hope everyone has a very safe and happy holiday season. Be well, everybody.